Alright folks, it's February 17th, 2020 at 4:45 p.m. here in Cape Breton, Nova Scotia, and I'm inviting you guys into my living room so we can have a little bit of discussion that's been on my mind for a little while, and I brought it up the last few days, and I figured, hey, might as well get a video and get her done. So what's going on here, guys, is you see two globes in front of me, obviously. The one on the right I received when I was a child. It was handed down to me from family. I believe it's from the 60s. I do have some information that I looked up on it as well. That globe there is made in the US. It's Randy McNeil terrestrial globe, 12-inch. And it was made in '63. The one on the left is made in the US as well. It's made by McLean's Republical Globe, and it's also a 12-inch diameter. And I received that one 22 years ago as a gift. And we're going to look at some land differences between them, and some water differences between them, and what I remember / we remember about globes and what our Earth supposedly looks like. Now, I'm going to go over to the first globe. Now, realize, yes, it's quite a few years old, and it's taken a beating, obviously, over the years from me, family, my kids, just being old in general. So I have to be careful with it because it is starting to separate at the seam and at the bottom of the globe, which I will show you here. So let's get into this, guys. And I thank y'all for being part of my channel, subscribing, comments, everything. I appreciate it all. And so let's just jump into this. Now, we're looking down on the globe, obviously, here, and we can see Canada. Like I said, guys, my globe, this one's pretty beat up, but nonetheless, we're going to take a peek at it. We have Cape Breton and Nova Scotia here. It's been beat up pretty bad. Some of the seams, some of the artwork have been really, really damaged over the years, but I think it's pretty damn cool nonetheless. So, if anybody wants to do comparisons from my globe to their globes to their flat earth model, how far or forbeeth, I'm fine with. You can use my contents. I'm not going to give anybody any strikes. So, we have some beautiful artwork upon these globes as well. I'm sorry about the little bit of shakiness, but you know, one hand on my phone and the other hand playing with the globe. So, yes, now let's take a look at North America first and South America and where they line up. Now, when I was growing up, I know I always remembered that South America was always over this way more, in here. So it's almost like it shifted half a continent over from where it originally was. Now, I don't know if you guys believe that, but we will have the two globes side by side here after we go through each one individually about what I want to see or talk about. It is my channel, it is my content. I did ask for some input from people on maybe another route or other things I could bring up in the topic. Now, when we look at the globe, where it connects into Colombia from, you know, South America up into Mexico and so on and so forth, some of this area has changed between the two globes. Now, Lone Eagle and I definitely agree that the connection into Colombia was actually over here more, because this whole continent was over here more. So with that, we know that has changed in our memories or in actuality. So I'm going to zoom back out here a little bit. And we're going to take a look at the bottom of my globe after I fix my mats here on the coffee table. Now you can see the bottom of my globe. It's a sin. It has taken quite a lot of beatings over the years and just being neglected. I mean, I was like 6 years old when it was given to me, so what do you expect, you know? I played with it, I spun it around, I looked up different places, and looked up places I dreamed about going when I get older. Some of these places I still definitely have not traveled to. So that's why we're taking it quite easy with this globe. Now, Africa. Let's talk about Africa right quick. The size of Africa, like, it's as big as my hand. Bigger, actually. So, I mean, Africa definitely, if it is that size in comparison to our Earth, like, it's one of the biggest continents. Now, not to mention the equator, where it sits and how it sits. If you think about where Europe is, like, you look at it from our perspective right now, like, say we're the sun from our perspective. This area in here, I don't know if it would even see sunlight unless, let me turn it so our angle or tilt is at the 23.3 degrees. You know, it's damaged a lot, unfortunately. I'm so sorry, guys. It's quite horrible. But, you know, there's always another day that we can look at this stuff. Now, in this globe as well, if you look at the United States and Canada, the United States looks bigger than Canada. And we were always told Canada was always larger than the United States. So if this is ME, Mandela effect taking place, like, sucks for us. We're getting the shitty end of the stick here in Canada because we're getting smaller and we're known to be one of the bigger continents, or countries, sorry, out there. So with the water as well, guys, like, we're going to take a look at the North Pole here as well. I have to stand up for this, being lazy sitting on my butt. So, you know, we would think with the Arctic Circle, you know, how much ice was actually up here. Now, I thought at one time that this globe actually had the layout of the edge line of the ice in the northern hemisphere, but it doesn't, unfortunately, as well. But Greenland looks like it's absolutely monstrous. It's almost like 1/3 the size of Canada, or 1/4 the size of Canada. And in all honesty, Greenland is not even close to being that size in actuality. So we know that how they make globes, they make things look bigger and they make things look smaller on it for perspective of view. And I mean, all these islands, like that Lone Eagle has been finding, these atolls, and these islands that have been popping up around the Ring of Fire, as well as New Zealand, how far down it is. I remember New Zealand being quite a lot higher on the globe, and a whole lot closer. I remember it quite a bit closer to Australia as well. But apparently, either ME has taken a hold of my globes and everybody's globes on the Earth, or I'm remembering incorrectly, and I don't like that thought. So with that, that's the old globe here, guys. And if there's anything you guys really want to look at, you can always mention it in the comments, and we can do another video on these globes. I know not everybody is, you know, into the globes. Some people are into flat Earth. Myself, I'm not going to say what I am or what I'm not on globe and flat Earth theory. But if you truly know me and things about me, you would know where I stand on that. So over to the newer globe, which is a whole lot better shape than the old globe, but nonetheless it still shows us inconsistencies from our memories to what we're seeing being produced and fed out to us. So again, with North America and South America, how they're lined up on the globe doesn't fit my recollection at all. So I'm going to pull these two globes a little closer together here. And the tilt also is way off on both globes. It doesn't even seem like they're the proper tilt. Now, if you can look at both, I got them pretty much the same angle, the same picture kind of thing. And you can see the differences alone between the two globes. They're both 12-inch, so there shouldn't be a ton of inconsistencies. But we do see a lot of inconsistencies, especially with South America and its angle compared to the other one. It's tilted more this way, so the angle's curving this way, where on the other globe it's more actual straight up and down than tilted. So maybe the way the continents are spinning and shifting, pushing this way, it's spinning this angle up and this angle out and down, possibly. And with the water though as well, like they're saying all this ice is melting and supposedly we're gonna have floods and what have you. The Atlantic Ocean, I live on the Atlantic Ocean, hasn't risen an inch, let alone anything else, unless we get a storm or high tide. Other than that, water levels haven't really changed. If anything, they're going down. Now back to this globe as well as the other globe. Like I said, I thought the older globe had the ice layout on North America, the Arctic, just like it has here on the Antarctic, on the newer of the two globes. But it doesn't, so we're going to go with this one for now. So it has the Antarctica ice layout as well, which is quite cool. And I have noticed that down in here, you can see where they have had ice that is supposedly melted away or just doesn't exist now because it's in blue. So maybe that ice comes and goes, but it's the Rice Ice Shelf. So let's flip this bad boy up and take a look at the North Pole and the Northern Hemispheres. Now, it's clearer white up here, so is that representative of the ice that would have been or should have been there that is not there anymore? Because I mean, you know, it's white. They're showing blue for water and they're showing kind of like white for ice. So that's what I'm going to take it as, is the white is representation of thicker ice and thinner ice, because it shows it to the coast as well. In the Northern Hemisphere, the Bay of Hudson. I'd love to do a comparison between my globes and the one Lone Eagle has, just for comparison on memory and what we're actually seeing and not seeing between people my age, younger and older. I'd love to have views between all three aspects, the young, the old, and my age group kind of thing. So with North America here, we're looking at it as well for Canada and the US. Now on this one, Canada truly looks bigger than the United States on the geological aspect of it, I find, compared to the other one, where the United States looks a whole lot bigger. So, you know, updates on maps and globes, things of that nature, I can understand how things get updated, but not to the degree that we're all seeing and understanding about where we live. And where I live is Cape Breton Island, which is going to be right here, Cape Breton Island, that beautiful little place. Beautiful little place. Everybody should visit it at least once in their life. because you'll never want to leave and you'll always come back. They call it God's country for a reason. We have some beautiful scenery and some beautiful people. Nonetheless, no matter where you go, you do have idiots and things of that nature as well. But back to the globe. Now, also with Lone Eagle and how he uses Google Map or Google Earth to look up his islands, I believe I see quite a bit of atolls that are not on the opposite globe, and I'm going to go back to that one as well in a moment. Now, if you look at New Zealand here, it looks like it's closer to Australia than on the other globe. And if I can put this so it doesn't roll away, I'm actually going to turn the two globes on their sides without making a mess and wrecking my layout here. Sorry about the bounciness, guys. I really am. Try to bring them closer to the perspective so we can look at them here. There we go. Now that I look at them, you can see there is obvious difference between where they're at and the layout. So, how I see it is, Australia has shifted and changed, for sure. A lot of islands around Australia have shifted and changed. That's a given. We know that. We've seen enough evidence from other channels that we all support and love and take pride in being part of. Pride's a bad thing, but it is a good thing because people understand the logic behind having pride in being part of something bigger than yourself. So with that, guys, I'm going to spin this globe and probably call it a video. It's the longest video I've been part of. And I love yous all. I hope yous all have a great afternoon and evening. And can't wait to see some of the comments, commentary, and maybe where we can take it from here. And with that, guys, I'm out.